Hey everyone, welcome back to the next thrilling chapter of the ultimate turn-based battle system 2D Devlog. Today we're diving into the heart of the action, battles. Imagine dynamic one-on-one duels, massive 10-on-10 clashes, or even the most chaotic encounters you can think of. There's no limit, and now, with the latest updates, you can bring those epic battles to life. In this devlog, we'll explore how battles unfold from start to finish, how the system brings your battle screens to life, sets the stage, and gives you complete control over the flow of combat. From initializing the battlefield to deciding the turn order, I've got some exciting updates that push this toolkit closer to becoming the ultimate RPG battle system. Whether you're looking to create fast-paced encounters or deep strategic showdowns, this update has something for every RPG fan. Ready to see the magic in action? Let's jump in. Alright, let's dive into what's new. With the latest updates, you can now create dynamic battles with ease. From small-scale skirmishes to massive brawls, the system gives you the flexibility to craft encounters tailored to your game's needs. Whether you want an epic one-on-one duel or a chaotic 10-on-10 free-for-all, the setup is entirely in your hands. And here's how it works. It all starts with initializing the battle screen. Here you can choose to stick with your default battle setup or override it for special encounters. This means you can dynamically change the number of heroes and enemies for each battle. Want a surprise boss fight with more heroes than usual? No problem. Simply override the default battle screen and watch as the system adapts seamlessly. Once the battle screen is set, the system brings the battlefield to life. It initializes the background and places the heroes and enemies in their designated positions. The best part? There's no limit to the number of participants. You can have classic 4-on-4 battles, gigantic clashes with dozens of characters, or even a hero going solo against an army. It's entirely up to you. The dynamic nature of this setup means you're not restricted to a fixed number. You can adjust it to fit the narrative and challenge of your game. Once the battle starts, the UI comes into play, displaying each hero and their stats ready for action. The system calculates the turn order based on the speed stat of each participant. This means faster characters get the edge, adding a layer of strategy to how you build your teams. Heroes with high speed can act sooner, allowing you to set up defenses or launch attacks before your enemies get a chance. Now, let's talk about the flow of battle. When it's a hero's turn, you can choose from a variety of skills and target specific enemies. Want to take down the healer first? Go for it. Your options are clear and accessible through the action panel. After your hero acts, it's on to the next in line, following the turn order. When it's the enemy's turn, the system currently has them randomly select a skill and target a hero. This adds an element of unpredictability for now, but stay tuned. Advanced enemy AI is in the works. Soon, you'll be able to define enemy behaviors, strategies, and responses to different situations, bringing even more depth to the battle flow. The battle continues until one side is defeated. If your heroes come out victorious, the battle ends, and you can move on to the next encounter. This dynamic battle flow opens up endless possibilities for crafting unique and engaging combat scenarios. Imagine starting with a small skirmish that escalates into a grand finale with reinforcements. It's all possible with the flexibility of this system. Pro tip: experiment with different battle screen configurations to keep your players on their toes. Mix up hero and enemy numbers, create special encounters, and use the turn order strategically to keep every battle fresh and exciting. Now let's jump into the action and see the battle system in motion. For this showcase, I've set up an intense heroic last stand scenario, where our brave team of 3 heroes faces off against a group of 6 powerful enemies. It's a fight for survival. As the battle begins, the system initializes the battlefield, placing our heroes and enemies in their positions. You can see the battle UI instantly updating to show our heroes' stats. With our heroes outnumbered, they'll need to use their speed and strategy to overcome the enemy forces. The system calculates the turn order based on speed. Here, our swift rogue is up first, giving us the chance to take an early shot at the enemy before they can react. Let's use this opportunity wisely. Our rogue charges in with a quick attack targeting one of the enemies. The skill is simple: deal damage, but every hit counts in a scenario like this. With that enemy weakened, it's time to see how the other enemies respond. Now it's the enemy's turn. They randomly select a skill and attack one of our heroes. For now, enemy AI is simple, but I'm planning to introduce more strategic behaviors in future updates, so stay tuned for that. The battle flows quickly, with each character taking their turn in sequence. Our hero steps up next, aiming to take out another enemy, while another hero provides support. The odds are against us, but with the right strategy, even a simple skill can make the difference between victory and defeat. And just like that, the battle reaches its climax. When all enemies are defeated, the system ends the battle, setting the stage for the next encounter. It's a straightforward system for now, but you can already see how dynamic and engaging the battles can be, even with just one skill in play. Now, let's take a peek behind the curtain into the development process. Building the battle system was a journey, and one of the biggest lessons I learned was the importance of structure and organization in code. Initially, I started off with a single script that handled everything: battle management, character actions, UI updates, you name it, it was in there. But very quickly, that script grew out of control. I mean, we're talking over 1,000 lines of code, and every time I tried to add something new, I ended up breaking existing functionality. It was like a tangled web where every change caused a ripple effect of bugs. That's when I knew I needed a better approach. Enter the state machine, a way to break down the battle flow into manageable, isolated states. For those of you diving into Unity development, a state machine is a fantastic way to organize complex systems. Instead of one giant script trying to do everything, you split your logic into separate states, each handling a specific part of the process. This not only makes the code more maintainable, but also makes it easier to expand and extend functionality without causing chaos. Now, instead of a monolithic script, we have individual states like initialize battle screen state. This state is solely responsible for setting up the battlefield. When it's done, it passes control to the next state, like initialize battle character state, which handles the character placements. Each state knows exactly what it needs to do and nothing more. This compartmentalization is key to keeping the system flexible and bug-free. I eventually split the entire battle flow into specific states. Not to get too technical here, but some of the most interesting ones include the player turn state, where the system awaits player input, and the determine next turn state, which checks the turn order and hands control to the next character. By having this flow clearly defined, it's incredibly easy to add new states or modify existing ones. For example, if I want to add a boss battle intro state for a special cutscene, I can just slot it in without messing up the rest of the system. One of the biggest advantages of using a state machine is that each state is isolated. If there's a bug in the initialize battle UI state, I know exactly where to look, and fixing it won't mess up the player turn state or the enemy turn state. It's a best practice in Unity development with C# to keep your code modular and manageable. It also allows you to think about the flow of your game more naturally. It's almost like building a narrative for your battle sequences. So, the lesson here is, if you're working on complex game systems, consider breaking them down into a state machine. It might take some upfront work, but trust me, it saves you from a lot of headaches down the road. Plus, it makes expanding your system much more intuitive and fun. Now it's time for our community spotlight. I've been getting amazing feedback and questions from all of you, and it's been incredibly inspiring to see how excited you are about the ultimate turn-based battle system 2D. And speaking of community, I have some exciting news to share. I've officially launched my Patreon page. By joining, you'll gain early access to the current state of the ultimate turn-based battle system. Whether you're looking to implement it into your projects or simply want to provide feedback and suggest new features, your support will directly help shape the future of this toolkit. And as a patron, you'll get to test the latest updates, explore new features, and be part of this journey from start to finish. But that's not all. Over on my official Arctentrion Discord server, I've created a dedicated channel for everyone interested in the ultimate turn-based battle system. It's a space to discuss ideas, share feedback, and connect with other developers working with the toolkit. By joining my Patreon, you'll get exclusive access to this room, where you can directly influence the development and share your insights with the community. Now, let's dive into a great question from one of our viewers. Fabio D'Astolfo 1207 asks, do you think this will work for a card battler? Fantastic question, and the answer is absolutely. Let's break down how this system can be adapted to fit a card battler setup. In a card battler, the core mechanics revolve around drawing cards, playing them strategically, and managing your hand. The beauty of the ultimate turn-based battle system is its flexibility. You can repurpose the existing states and mechanics to fit a card-based flow. For instance, you can treat each hero or enemy as a player who draws cards at the start of their turn. During the player turn state, instead of choosing a skill directly, you could modify the system to present a hand of cards to the player. Each card can represent an action, be it an attack, a defense boost, a spell, or even summoning new units to the field. By selecting a card, the system can then execute the action in a similar way to how it currently handles skills, but with the added layer of card-based strategy. Turn order still plays a critical role here. You could have speed determine how many cards a player draws or who gets the first move. The system's flexible turn order mechanics allow you to create a variety of card battler experiences, whether it's a deck building game, a strategic card RPG, or something entirely unique. With a few tweaks to the existing states, you can implement card mechanics like drawing, discarding, and card effects to match your specific vision. So yes, the ultimate turn-based battle system can definitely be adapted for a card battler. It's one of the reasons I designed the system to be so flexible, so you can build the type of battle experience your game needs. Keep those questions coming, and if you have ideas or specific mechanics you want to see in future updates, let me know. And that wraps up this devlog, but trust me, we're just getting started. In the next episode, we'll be taking the battle flow to the next level with some game-changing updates. I'm talking about advanced damage calculations that take every stat and affinity into account, dynamic skill animations to bring your battles to life, status effects that can turn the tide of combat, and even the implementation of items to add a new layer of strategy. And that's just scratching the surface. Want to get your hands on these new features before anyone else? By joining my Patreon, you can experience all these updates in early beta versions and be part of the development process. Not only that, but your feedback and suggestions will have a direct impact on how the toolkit evolves. Have a specific feature in mind? A mechanic that could make battles even more epic? I'm all ears, and I'd love to bring your ideas to life. And don't forget, our community is growing every day on the Arctentrion Discord server. It's the perfect place to connect with other developers, share your progress, and get help with your projects. Whether you're using the ultimate turn-based battle system, my 2D RPG kit, or the 2D action platformer kit, there's a room for everyone. Join us, ask questions, and get the support you need to bring your game to life. So, if you're excited about what's coming next, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to stay up to date on all the latest devlogs. And if you're ready to dive in and help shape the future of this toolkit, consider joining my Patreon. Every bit of support means the world and directly fuels the creation of this system. The links to everything are in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next devlog.